What's poppin', guys? You got your coach of the Chim Chargers for our week 1 GBA match versus Aster, coach of the Montreal Habsols, and I'm very hyped about this game. It's starting off with the squad that we drafted, seeing if it can put in work. We of course have the team from yesterday's building video, so if you haven't seen that, feel free to check it out. Gives you some good knowledge of the team and the sets that I'm bringing and stuff. Since I won't really go over it in this video, I guess you'll just kind of have to see what happens. But if you want a more detailed description of each member of the team, check out that video. And Aster's team, he brings a team of Zapdos, Milotic, Scolipede, Steelix, Sylveon, and Megalopody. So kind of what I expected him to bring in the first place. A lot of the Pokemon I've tested thoroughly against, so I'm not really too surprised or feeling uncomfortable about his team or anything. It's all kind of what I've seen before. So potential leads that he has, I'm thinking that he'll probably lead with either Zapdos because of the fact that it has potential momentum with Volt Switch, with Steelix, which is a stealth rocker, and he could also lead with Megalopony as well, which maybe he'll want to get off an early Mega, try to fake out turn 1 or something. That's another common lead that could be seen. Perhaps also another one could be Scolipede if it is a Focus Sashed T-Spikes lead or something like that. But that's another option, of course. So I feel like my best sort of lead versus just in general, I guess, is my Kyurem, and the reason is because I like leading Kyurem. I led Kyurem for all of my tests versus this matchup. So because of that, like, I can actually pressure Zapdos a lot, as well as the Steelix, because with Kyurem I just hit extremely hard versus everything on his team pretty much. And I do threaten things with Toxic as well, which I do have on my set, of course. I guess if he does decide to lead with like Megalopony, I can just go into my Slowbro. So it's just a nice and solid lead overall. This game was actually 60 turns long, so it was a very intense match for sure. I'm sure you all are excited to see it. So yeah, without further ado, let's just go ahead here and hop into the game and see how everything plays out. So I mean, just based on matchup alone, I guess I'm pretty comfortable because of the fact that I have a counter for, or I have a switch in for pretty much every Pokemon he has. The first like 30 or so turns is just like, you'll see what I mean. Let's just get right into it. Shout out to my boy Common Dude, by the way, for the nice layout of this battle. Looking really clean for sure. Anyways, he leads up with Zapdos here as I lead up with the Kyurem. So I do get that lead correct here, and I do pressure him out, both literally and of course with my ability. He's going to be going into Sylveon. I just go right for the Toxic, expecting him to go into one of his bulky walls, like for instance his Sylveon or his Milotic. Now of course I'm going to switch out here. We'll go right into my Empoleon as he goes right into his Scolipede. So he makes a double there, goes into Scolipede, very nice. I am of course forced to switch out here into my Girder, which of course is a great counter to this thing. He goes right for the Earthquake. It does about like 20%, so that's really not much at all. Gets a speed boost here, so he actually decides to stay in and go for T-Spikes. This is the point in the game where I'm just like, I just side with Relief, because I know for a fact he's not any sort of threatening set to me, because he set up a T-Spikes. I can go for a Fire Punch and put that in a good amount of range of HP to knock it out later on. He goes into Sylveon as I go for another Fire Punch here. No point in me trying to predict or anything like that. I just get off damage as and when I can. Then I go back here into my Empoleon as he goes for the Wish, and yeah, we get to find out here and see how great of a defogger Empoleon is. Of course, like I said, the team builder analysts were saying that they did not like Empoleon as a defogger, but as you can see, it's been doing work. It's been doing some work. Got a defog off. He goes for the Wish and Heal Bell, so now I know what kind of Sylveon set he is. I just get up Rocks here as I can now switch out. I do have Rocks on his side, so he's gonna be a bit more pressured. I can go here into my Kyurem as he goes for the Volt Switch. Kyurem, of course, being a very, very safe switch into electric attacks from Zapdos. He's going to Volt Switch out into his Lopunny, and I'm just going to switch out right here into my Slowbro. He will be getting off the Mega Evolution here. Of course, going to be taking less damage from the Rocks due to his added Fighting type now. Goes for the Toxic, so he does predict my Slowbro. Goes right for the Toxic. Nice play. However, my Slowbro is a Pokemon that can just switch out, regenerate health, and Toxic is not going to be affecting it too much because it's not a sweeper set. So I can go here for a Toxic on this Sylveon, go ahead and once again put that on a timer. So he's going to be forcing him to go for more and more Heal Bells. He only has a maximum now of 7 because he already used one up. So I'm going to go here into my Empoleon as he goes right for the Wish. So he is basically, it's like, what's going to happen right in these first 30 or so turns, is he's gonna be wishing, heal belling, switching, volt switching, and going back into Sylveon and wishing again. So it's basically like I'm sitting through this, right? The only uncomfortable part I had in this game was just because I was sick when I was playing, so it was just kind of me trying to like get this game out of the way so I can go to sleep. So I'm just trying to like sit here and wish that the Sylveon was gone. So I'm just gonna roar here as he goes to the wish. He gets sent out into his Zapdos, and now at this point I definitely am. I don't want him to go for Volt Switch into something like Scolipede and then heal back up, but thankfully he does prioritize getting off rocks more, so he goes for a Defog. So that's great. I go into Coco just to switch it up from Kyurem a bit so that I can not really be too predictable with my switch-ins, I guess. Even though there are certain switches that I just perfectly have that I just want to go into. Gonna predict the Steelix here as he switches out of Zapdos and goes into it. Go right for a Nature's Madness, following up with a U-turn. Reveals that his helmet is, that his item is Rocky Helmet. Steelix did not appreciate that Nature's Madness one bit. It just did not appreciate it. Goes for an Earthquake here as I go into Slowbro after my U-turn. Was a safe play because not going into Empoleon was a bit risky, since I definitely needed that for Sylveon. Just get off a Scald here as he switches out of Steelix, forced out of course. I get a crit, which doesn't matter of course because Sylveon does what it does best. Goes right for the wish as I go right back into my Empoleon. And yeah, basically what I'm trying to do right now, right, I need to try to get a burn on Sylveon and then try to roar it out. That's my kind of goal right now. And of course, you know, keeping up rocks at the same time is going to be really useful. And like I said in my team analysis video of my draft, Empoleon is just great at keeping up rocks, keeping away hazards from my side, really good at it. And anyone that says otherwise, you know, they're kidding you right there. So I mean, we're going to just go ahead here and click Scald and I guess just basically just stay in here, force Sylveon out because Sylveon can't do anything to Empoleon. He's gonna take a Scald after the rocks, heal up back almost all the way, and now at this point I'm gonna switch out here into my Kyurem once again because Zapdos cannot do anything to it, and he will be going for the Volt Switch here. So he's not clicking Defog at all, and he just wants momentum. So I guess he's trying to play more aggressively with his defensive team. So I'm gonna switch out here into my Empoleon once again. He can't do anything to this thing, and there's no drawback of me going into it. He's just wasting wishes, burning those wishes out. I mean, it's gonna wear off sooner or later if he keeps up this pattern, but I just want to keep him sort of in a mental state of just feeling comfortable with the way things are going, so that once, you know, I have an opportunity to change up the pace of the game, I can do that and I can catch him off guard. So yeah, basically, you know, we're just gonna keep going through this right now together. We got here, of course, me going for Scald as he's wishing into his Zapdos. I do get a crit here and a burn, and as you can see, he wished up back to maybe about like 75-ish%, I guess. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, this Zapdos has some sort of HP investment or something. It's a bulky Zapdos with Volt Switch and Defog. So I'm like, okay, maybe something later on like Mega Pinsir can put in a lot of work later on. So he's going to Volt Switch, of course, into his Sylveon, take more damage. I'm just going to switch out here. I can Roost at some point when it's more safe. There's no point in me staying and trying to do any sort of kind of play expecting him to go for a wish or anything. There's really no point in that. He's going to Wish Protect, of course. I'm just going to Scald here. And at this point, I think I get a little impatient and just keep clicking Scald. I'm just spamming Scald here. I'm trying to get a burn as he's going for a wish. I'm not getting too many burns right now. I'm trying to get a burn so that I can roar him out, attack it, and then try to, you know, try to deal with it that way and like just chip it out. He's going to Heal Bell and get rid of whatever burn he had on his Zapdos. So I'm just going to keep clicking Scald once again. And we do actually get a burn this time. So I'm thinking, okay, like this is a great opportunity to try what I'm thinking of doing here. So he goes for the Hyper Voice as I go right for the Roar. And we can roar out this Sylveon now. He's going to be sent out into his Lopunny, so I do have the one reliable switch into this thing, which is my Slowbro. So I am just going to switch out hard right into that right now. Into my Slowbro, into my nice Have Fun Bro. He goes right for the return and takes some Rocky Helmet chip damage. And I know that he's, based on the way he's playing, he's going to go back into his Sylveon here. So I'm going to go for my strongest attack that I have on this thing, which is my Psychic. And as you can see, we got some damage off. He's going to be taking some burn damage here. And this is the opportunity that I thought to myself, you know, it's time. Yo, let's make a play right now. I'm going to go into my Tapu Koko, my nice Kapu Kokeko. He's going to go right for the Wish. and this is where we are going to unleash our Z move, and predicting the protect to come out because he's not going to want to switch out and try to save it because it's already weakened. He wants to heal it up. I predict the protect, go right for the Z move on this turn. That is Gigavolt Havoc, Wild Charge. So it is a physical attack on the Sylveon, which is probably more Spadef bulky, and we do knock it out. So this is where things take a turn. This is where the real game starts, alright? This is where the real game starts. He's going to be going into Steelix, of course, being the counter to Coco. I'm just going to hard switch into Empoleon this time because once Sylveon is gone, I can play more risky with Empoleon. I don't need it as much anymore, and I can just play more aggressively with it, I guess. So he gets up rocks here, not going for Earthquake, probably expecting Slowbro to come in. So now I can just go for a Defog. He does predict that and go into his Milotic. And his Milotic actually is competitive. Surprisingly, I didn't really test too much versus competitive Milotic. But I'm a little bit anxious about the set, not having really practiced much versus it. So I'm kind of wondering what he is. He goes for the Hidden Power, and it does reveal to be HP Electric. That was a lot of damage. I'm a Spadef and Empoleon, but I am still able to, of course, defog the rocks, get up my own rocks. And because like I said, I can play more risky with Empoleon now that Sylveon is gone, I stay in. And he goes for a Scald expecting my switch, so I can just go right for the roar this out as he goes into a Scolipede. And now, I mean, I don't want this thing trying any sort of getting up more T-spikes or just trying to set up or anything like that, or do any kind of endeavors, shenanigans or stuff like that. I just stay in and sack it off. And he's going to get a speed boost here, so I am going to go into my Pinsir now because I do pack quick attack and go right for a regular quick attack because I don't have to mega. I can get a Moxie boost, and you know, we can try to stunt right now. So he brings in Zapdos, which I do believe to be a bulky set, so I am going to stay in here and go right for the Mega Evolution and go right for the Stone Edge. But he does reveal to be Choice Scarf, so he was a bulky, sort of a bulky Choice Scarf. Volt switch that with Defog, so that kind of caught me off a little bit, but he does get sent on to Steelix. Stone Edge probably does like 2% damage. Predicting him to want to make a double here back into Zapdos, and also because Return is kind of my only move on Pinsir to actually hit stuff with, I go for a Return here. I kind of expected him to want to maybe scout for Earthquake and go into it, so I figured there was no drawback in me just clicking it and just going for a knockout there. He's going to go Lopunny as I predict Fake Out, go right into Slowbro, give him Rocky Helmet chip damage. And at this point, like, his team is just getting chipped down so much now. He has 3 Pokemon left, I have 5. I can just go for a Psychic here on this Milotic. And he does get a Spadef drop, which does give him a competitive boost. Not a problem, other than the fact that if it has Ice Beam, it could be a bit annoying for Kyurem. But I'm just going to go Kyurem right now and see what he's got. And I can bring out Kyurem here. He goes right for the Recover, which will heal him up a little bit there. But because I have Toxic Roost on this thing, I can go ahead and start breaking this Milotic down. Now that it's toxic, there is nothing that it can really do anymore because it's just going to get worn down over time. I can just Roost here, no drawbacks, just click Roost and wear this thing down. I'm actually going to make an interesting play, as you'll soon see. A nice little stunt with my Kyurem later on, a couple turns in, as you'll soon see. He switches out here, predicting me to go for another Roost on the Milotic, but I just go for Ice Beam, predicting his switch there and just knock it out. That was a nice little maneuver there. He goes right back into Milotic now, and I can just go ahead and Roost up here, as at this point it's just a matter of time breaking down Milotic with the Toxic that I've given it. And after that, his last Pokemon is the Steelix, and we actually just win this game from here on out. So that was a that was a really solid game for sure. I mean, it was basically like me trying to position myself to a point where I can get rid of that Sylveon. That Sylveon was the one that was causing the most problem, and it was tough to like try to get something safely in on it because he could just wish into another Pokemon that can counter what I bring. So I just needed to basically like chip down Sylveon as much as I could, and then try to I guess put a hole in it with either Pinsir or with Tapu Koko, and we got it with Tapu Koko, so that's awesome. So our Kyurem here is gonna be should be taking it out, I think, on this turn here with the Earth Power. So I'm gonna go here right for the Earth Power to knock out Milotic, get rid of that Pokemon here. Last one being the Steelix, and yeah, that's the Steelix here is the last Pokemon. We can go ahead and hit him up with an Ice Beam, and that is going to be GG. It is Emvee with a nice 5-0 win for week 1. Very happy about that. And I mean, Aster played pretty well, of course. He just did not have much versus our team. Like, I prepped really well for versus him, I feel. And just based on like the structure alone of our team, I don't think he could have really broken through it. We just had a lot of options for our team and a lot of reliable switch-ins, and basically we just had to bide our time until Sylveon was gone. And once Sylveon was out of the way, then the team started crumbling. It really, like, I guess the sort of thing was like the team sort of relied on Sylveon's wish support, and once that was gone, everything just started crumbling basically. So yeah, I think we played it really well in this week. Feel free to check out Aster's side of the game. I'll definitely be doing that as well to see what his thoughts were of the game and stuff. But overall, it was solid. Next week, we do play Gym Leader Geo, so I'm excited about that. So that's going to be our week 2 game. I know a lot of people were saying, or I guess commenting about how my week 1 team did not have too much heat. I mean, it was that's true, of course, but like I definitely wanted to get the feel of my team before I start bringing some heat sets, and I think from this game alone proved to me, I guess, enough that the team is well-rounded and solid, and it's comfortable for me to use. It's very comfortable for me to use, and that's something that I feel like I can get a lot of success with. So hope you all enjoyed this match. Let me know what you guys think, of course. Chim Chargers picking up a win for this week 1. I'm excited about the future of this season and trying to get some more wins. So yeah, and also for like the Pokemon's nicknames, I just kind of came up with like on the spot. So maybe if you guys like come up with better nicknames, I'll maybe like swap some out or something. We'll see. But yeah, anyways, hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.